Welcome. This is Enrique Alvarez. I'm with Vector Global Logistics, and I have Maureen with me today. We have a really good guest for our Fireside chat. Maureen, how are you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Happy to be here and ready to listen a little bit more of what our guest has to say.
Yes, Chris, welcome. Christopher Hussaini, Senior Manager of Sales at Hapag-Lloyd. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here and to interact with you both again and continue our dialogue.
Thank you so much. And Chris, thank you again for joining us and giving us some minutes of your time to kick things off. Tell us a little bit more, or in very briefly and generally, could you explain for our audience what Hapag-Lloyd is? I'm sure it's a multi-billion-dollar company. I know that you guys are everywhere and doing great things, but for all those people that might be not fully familiar, what is Hapag-Lloyd?
Yeah, Hapag-Lloyd is a global shipping company carrier. So we're an ocean carrier. We're one of the top 5 or 6. It's always oscillating in the world. We have offices, hundreds of offices all over the world, over 14,000 talented employees, and we basically we move things around the world, right? So most of about 80 to 90% of things that move, import or export in any country, come on the water in containers. Probably those trucks you try to avoid on the road that look like Legos, and they get stacked on top of each other. And our company owns the vessels, and we own the containers, and we move people's commodities and major organizations' commodities all over the world. That's in the simplest way.
That's a great start. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
As Hapag mentions in your corporate strategy, environmental, economic, and social responsibility cannot be separated. We definitely today would love to talk about the sustainability aspect of it, because that's something that we work on a lot and we focus on, and would love for you to share how your large organization is also trying to contribute to some sustainability efforts.
Yeah, I'd say in terms of sustainability, which is really, it's really life or death in terms of environment or whatnot. A lot of it, how we're contributing into many ways. I'd say one and most impactful way, our core business is the ships, the vessels. A lot of our new builds we are building are some of the most environmentally friendly with the latest technology they can be. So there's terms of that. And I think that intersection of what's good for the environment and what's also good for profitability, they are aligned, right? Because also the more green things are, the less fuel is consumed. Fuel, as we know, had been a recent point of high volatility. So I think those are a win-win in the same. So that's one major way we're doing. There's also a lot of other initiatives we do in terms of donating into environmental causes that are happening from our corporate office, and then all other different offices around the world that we do.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, so you have, or Hapag has officially declared that, and I'll quote, drive decarbonization in the industry, reducing carbon intensity by 30% until 2030, reach net zero carbon by 2045. Can you share a little bit more with us and our audience? What kind of alternative energy strategies do you guys have for the future?
Yeah, so I think part of it was a little bit of how much an investment would be with LNG in that mixture. We were doing LNG for a while, and now a lot of it is now moving away from that. And nobody, there's different strategies on different carriers of what is right. I think really a lot of the strategy now, instead of retrofitting, which what some carriers may do, retrofitting existing vessels in order to lower emissions. Ours is more in terms of our new builds, and we have a number of new builds coming out next year, and I think the years after that are the most environmentally friendly and utilize the most environmentally friendly kind of petrols and how it filters it, quite candidly.
Hey, great technology, right? All around. I think it's actually one of the keys to your fleet success going forward, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it also, at the same time, not only is it environmentally friendly, it'll lower emissions, which is something obviously our goal to do. It'll also, it should lead to profitability as well. So it truly is, I think, a win-win. And I'm bullish on the fact that we will get there. I say sometimes in our industry, in the carrier industry, we're a little bit back like in 1985 in the DeLorean, right? Compared to the airlines, but things are quickly changing. And I'd say, well, we may not always move very fast. Some may say kind of like an iceberg. I'd say once we set our mind on something, we're pretty good about achieving it and putting all the efforts to do that. So I'm quite confident we're going to get there.
Well, you guys are a major player in the shipping industry. Like you said, you're normally in the top 6. So, I mean, you do have the ability to lead by example in that way. Are there other things that you would like to see, your peers in the shipping industry, initiatives like this take on? Or what would you like to see from them in order to move this process forward?
Yeah, I mean, a major thing is investment. A lot of things start with investments, investing in the infrastructure, and a lot of our infrastructure is in terms of our vessels, infrastructure leading the just simple things in terms of even containers. Can you find things even more lightweight? Because when you scale it and multiply it, now it's going to burn less fuel. Things that have been, and that are done, slow steaming. So there's always about, okay, transit time, but also burning of fuel. What can you do for more efficiency there? What can one do to investing and partnering up with different terminals in order to, because the more quickly you're processing something, the less that they're waiting out, burning and utilizing energy, right? So I think it's really even sometimes the little things that could have a large effect by fixing the efficiencies. So I'd say it's all kinds of things like that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your insight and thoughts with us today. Again, we're very proud and happy to be working not only with you, but your team, the entire Hapag-Lloyd, and we definitely look forward to continue developing our good collaboration. Thank you to everyone watching. And of course, if you enjoy conversations like the one we just had with Chris, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
History maker, world changer, history maker.